Stars shining bright above you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name. Thank you. My name is Clifford Bell, and I am one of the very many people who was forever changed by having known Marie de la Palme. In fact, I hate to admit it, but I think over the last 8 months I have offended more than a few people because I constantly say Marie was the most radiant, most luminous woman I've ever known. And not everybody wants to hear that. But to me it was the truth. And I have no reservations about saying it. So it's my great honor to welcome you tonight and to introduce you to Marie's very beloved dance company, Motion Tribe, as they present an evening of the works of Marie de la Palme. It was decided by those of us putting the show on tonight that I would speak for just a few minutes because there's a few things we feel like you should know. First of all, you're about to see a dance concert of exquisite beauty, but this is also a memorial tribute because those of us that have gathered together to bring you this program today needed to have a voice to tell you about our enormous love for Marie. So it's not going to be simply your traditional concert. Marie's dream was that all of these pieces would someday be presented in one complete program, like a journey from beginning to end. And so tonight, for the very first time, we're going to do that. And we had to make an artistic decision because there are two key performers that weren't able to be here this evening. So we've decided that we're going to show two videos of live performances, beautifully captured live, of the dancers that Marie actually developed these two important works with. Fabienne Levinson will be dancing the bar, and Mike Whitmers will be dancing the door on video. Now, also, I wanted to take a moment to thank the Irvine Valley College Dance Department and their chair, Catherine, for their generous support and commitment to not just this evening, but to their entire relationship with Marie. I was talking to Joe Mulroy, Marie's husband, yesterday, and he made the observation that it was Irvine Valley College and Orange Coast College and Orange County in general where Marie really was able to expand her artistry, where she was given the resources and the dancers and the venues and the audiences that allowed her to become the world-class choreographer that she was. And Joe and I were talking about, you know, it wasn't Paris and it wasn't New York. It was Orange County. It was here that gave her that, and she was extremely grateful for it. So that makes this show tonight very, very important to all of us. One more thing I want to say before we start is, in Marie's final days, when it was clear that she would be leaving us soon, she occupied herself by writing a letter to all the people that she had been thinking about. And she wrote it with the intention of having it read at her funeral, which it was. And I can tell you, I myself have been to a lot of funerals, and I have never experienced anything like what this letter made us feel. It's so Marie that she would talk directly to us in this way. So we decided that tonight, for the first time since the funeral, we'd like to share it with you. I'm going to read the first half now, and after the program runs until intermission, We'll come back for a very brief second act. It's really more like a prologue, but it has very important content, in my opinion. And we'll start the second act with the second half of Marie's letter and 2 very extra segments. So this is from Marie. Everyone gets to talk at a funeral except the dead person. I don't think this is fair. So here is a quick message to all of you. My dear family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, dancers, fellow choreographers, students, and relevant people in my life. Relevant because my life was a fabric woven from our relationships, our friendships, our interactions, good or bad. It doesn't matter. You opened my world, challenged me to new points of view, taught me other ways to do, to be, to think. Over the years, you shared your gifts through love, work, talks, and even our arguments. I marveled at the treasures I received from you and honored those riches that became a part of me. To my students and dancers, thank you for the gift of your bursting creativity, your trust, and your openness to what I could share with you in dance, and in art, and in life. I had so much fun teaching you. To my colleagues goes my gratitude as we fought together to survive the madness of this world called academia. To my fellow choreographers, thank you for the wonderful times talking about creation. And to those of you who helped produce my work and helped in getting it seen, my profound gratitude. Now, sometimes in dance concerts, you're not expected to clap, but we encourage, if you see anything tonight you'd like to clap for, please feel free. And now I give you Motion Tribe, an evening of the works of Marie de la Palme. And welcome back. First of all, before we proceed with the very, very brief second act, I just wanted to do a few things. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you here tonight for buying a ticket and donating to the Marie de la Palme Scholarship Fund. So thank you all so much for that. I'd also like to ask you to help me. We will have a company bow at the end of the show, but I'd love if we could just take a moment right now and acknowledge these phenomenal dancers. Motion Tribe and all of the guests that were with us. I had the privilege of being with everybody throughout the week, off and on, and just everybody here participated with such incredible love and devotion to honor their relationships with Marie and what she gave to them. So this is as special to all of them as I hope it was to you. So thank you for that. I'd also like you to help me thank the crew, the wonderful crew here at this beautiful theater. Patrick, Eddie, Kevin, Nick, Amanda, Crystal, Elizabeth on sound, and our fabulous lighting designer, Chrissy. All right. There is one special acknowledgement I want to spend this time with before I read the rest of Marie's letter. Towards the end of the year last year, when Marie took ill, and we started to know how serious it would be, it was Marie who started to know that she was going to be challenged to deliver what she needed to do. And so she turned to one of her closest friends for over 20 years. And Marie asked Maritza Penger to hear her wishes, hear her dreams, see her vision for what she'd like to see happen with Motion Tribe. And Marissa spent every day for the last days of Marie's life taking it all in. And everything that you see tonight, really, everything that you see tonight has come out of Marissa's commitment and devotion and love from Marie. So please help me acknowledge Marissa. The very last piece that you'll see tonight is called Dream a Little Dream. And it came into being because in the final days when Marie was in home hospice, it really was a very private time. There wasn't anybody really there except Maritza, Marie's three sisters from France, Joe, and Danny and Elizabeth. And as they spent their days hanging out and talking and being with each other, none of them even know how it started, but for some reason they all just started singing Dream a Little Dream to each other. And whenever there was a quiet moment in the conversation, somebody would pick up the tune and just start singing it. So it became just kind of this like running gag between each other that they would start singing Dream a Little Dream. So somewhere along the way in that process, Maritza and Marie started to have a conversation about maybe this should be a dance, one more dance. And then they talked further and they said, and it should be a duet, which to them was sort of an inside joke because they always felt that there were too many duets in the show anyway. But, you know, Marie spoke the language of two. Marie knew what a duet was. And so they decided it would be a duet. And, you know, unfortunately, Marie was never able to choreograph this. So this is the only thing you'll see tonight that wasn't actually choreographed by Marie. It was choreographed by a wonderful woman, Jennifer Backhouse. So thank you, Jennifer. And it will be danced by Evan Swenson and Maritza Penger. And another special note about it is that they'll be performing to a track that is a Mulroy family project. Joe created the track, Danny is playing drums, and young Elizabeth, who turns out to have a gorgeous voice, is singing the lead. So it's a very special thing. Tonight's the debut of it anywhere. And so that is how we'll end the evening. But before we do that, here's the latter part of Marie's letter that she wrote for her funeral mass. Marie was deeply religious, and this is what was on her mind when she was saying goodbye. I want to especially thank those of you who do not believe in God. Why? Your beliefs challenge my own view of the world, my particular religion, and of course, God. Because of you, I had to become a better Christian, one that did not proselytize, but who strove to make this love I believe in real, in every relationship of my life. Your gift to me was the challenge to my beliefs, and I learned in that process. I also thank my companions in faith, you who sustained me, prayed for me, sat with me at church, and helped me grow in faith. Thank you. At the end of my life, I found that I had a puny, tiny faith, and I will not be sending trees to plant themselves in the ocean anytime soon. But you have been my traveling companions, and your prayers gained me many graces and allowed me to grow, especially during my final months of illness. Your love gave me patience and strength to not lose heart. Some may think I have wasted my time with my faith, or at least with my particular religion. I shall leave that question of imperfect religions to the pundits. But does one really waste time pursuing a relationship with God? I can only reply with my own version of the wager theory by the French philosopher Pascal. I will let you seek out the original. The basic premise is this: all I know about God, I love. From the fierce beauty and endless creativity of the world, the immensity of time and space, the pure joy and love, and the comprehension of truth beyond what we can fathom down here. I also like the roadmap for happiness that turns out to be good for the soul and for the world. You will hear a partial list in the gospel. What strikes me is that any psychologist will tell you that all of this behavior is good for your spirit and necessary for a happy life. I will cite only a few. Love others and love yourself. Forgive others and yourself. Be present to your life. Be patient. Slow to anger and full of compassion. Rejoice in your friends and your families and be faithful. No stealing, killing, using others for selfish gain, and in spite of our consumer society, no envy. But what if there is no God? The contemplation and practice of all that He is supposed to be cannot be a waste of time, because that is the world that I wanted to inhabit and develop. I got to experience my life in every love shared and received in my life. I was not religious to gain heaven. I was religious because it is heaven to be a part of this world. So, God or no God, if there is a spiritual person such as He, I will grand jeter and run to Him with all the joy in my heart. But if there is no one, I did not waste my time loving what is so lovable. And anyway, I won't know. But I believe.